When it comes to the internal structure of the earth, it takes a lot of analysis and investigation to understand the interiors of the earth. With the radius ranging over 6,000 meters, it becomes difficult for anybody to access such depths. Now, let us learn about the various layers that make up the earth.
The main layers constitute the earth, which are crust, mantle and the core.
First, let us learn about the earth's crust.
The outer part of the earth is called crust. It is on the crust that all of us live. The crust is as deep as 30 to 100 kilometers. Various kinds of rocks are found in this layer of earth. Surprisingly, the crust forms only 1% of the volume of the earth.
From this, it can be understood that the crust of the earth is similar to the shell of the egg.
The next layer of the earth is the mantle, which is 100 to 2,900 kilometers deep. There is a pliable layer on the upper portion of the mantle on which the outer layer or the crust exists. The mantle consists of chemicals called silicates. The mantle constitutes 16% of the earth.
Students, now let us learn about next layer of the earth, which is the core.
The core is around 2,900 to 6,376 kilometers thick and is constituted by dense and heavy elements like iron and nickel. It is the core which forms the major part of the earth at 83%.
Students, the core layer is divided into two sublayers, which are the outer core and the inner core.
The outer core consists of liquid metallic materials like iron and nickel at a depth of 2,900 to 5,100 kilometers. Inner core, with a thickness of 5,100 to 6,376 kilometers, the inner core is very strong, which is made up of compounds of iron and heavy elements like gold.
Students, now let's see how the earth's crust forms.
The matter or the substances which are deep down in the earth come out through volcanoes and cracks on the ocean floors. They cool down to form the crust of the earth. In addition, parts of Earth's crust in many regions enters the mantle and turns into a molten form. There is continuous process of formation and destruction of the Earth's crust.
Students, can you think and tell what does it imply by the continuous formation and destruction of Earth's crust? The continuous formation and destruction of the crust simply points out that the earth is still active. Students, now let us learn about the movements of the earth's crust. Students, now when you look at the globe or a map, it may be seen that the continents are fixed in their locations. But if you observe from the time of inception of the earth, one can see collisions, movements, merging and separation of these continents.
The mountains rose and they were torn down and broke up. There were oceans that formed and dried. Valleys have sprung up and so on in the due course of the inception of the earth.
Students, various studies of the earth that were conducted by some meteorologists and earth scientists help us in understanding these various phenomena.
Alfred Wegener, a German meteorologist and geophysicist, brought out the theory of continental drift in the early 20th century. According to this theory, Alfred Wegener described the current positions of the continents and ocean basins. He assumed a massive supercontinent which he called Pangaea, that translates from Greek as whole land, existed 22 million years ago, and it gradually broke apart into several large sections. In addition, he also suggested that these sections drifted away from each other. In the next millions of years, some of the continents collided with the others, which are supposed to be still moving around.
Thus, Wagner points out that through Pangaea, a hypothetical continent, the continents of the present day originated by the drift of the Mesozoic era till the current day. Students, from this you can understand that it took so many millions of years for the earth to assume the present shape. Students, all of us get to know so much of the earth, the various places through maps and globes, isn't it? But have you wondered how the various places on the earth are represented on the maps and globes? Let us have a look. Students, you have studied in your earlier classes about the latitudes and longitudes. The information of the latitudes and longitudes helps us in finding about the various places on earth. Here's an exercise for you. Find out the latitude and longitude information of Kanpur. Here's a clue on how to find the latitude and longitude information.
One can find information on latitudes and longitudes of places in the atlas. Towards the end of the atlas is where there is an alphabetical listing of various places from which you can find out the information on latitudes and longitudes of various places. The listing gives the name of the place, the name of the country, the page number of the map, the latitude and the longitude. Isn't that simple and easy?
Now, let us see how the information is represented on a globe.
The network of latitudes and longitudes are drawn on a globe which is called a grid. The grid helps in locating the places and helps in learning about the places, calculating the weather, the distances and so on.
Students, you must have remembered studying about the various hemispheres like the northern, western, southern and eastern hemispheres, isn't it? Hemi means half and hemisphere means half a sphere. Here's an exercise for you. Name the continents and their respective hemispheres. Although you have learned in your earlier classes about the latitudes and longitude, now let us learn in a little detail about them in today's class. But before that, just to remind you that longitudes and latitudes are imaginary lines.